Okay. Room is now locked, and we are going to begin. Here we go, and they're going to start picking up. And let me set the timer. And here we go. Steps is one of my favorite maps to play on. A lot of possibilities. There are a couple different options. You see a lot of people gather over by the cap circle, which is over by D9, C9, in that general vicinity. Expecting to see NL come out. Oop, and they lost one. You open it back up for them. So I'm expecting to see NL come out with a couple of heavy tanks to hold somewhere around F9, F8. And I'm expecting to see kind of what I saw last time from ONUR6, and that's going to be a bunch of tanks anywhere between C6 and C9. If you remember last time we did a streamed match where we had ONUR6 playing against Selva, one of the best first games I've seen in a while, where it came down to the last second and ONUR6 was able to pull it out from Selva right when it looked like Selva was going to be able to pull out a W, and they just couldn't get it done. And it was just a great game. I think we're going to see a lot of that here, as both teams are going to kind of feel each other out right off the bat. Room is open back up for NL because they had lost one. Yeah, I think they got him back. No, they haven't yet. This could be dangerous if they don't get their last guy in here. It's going to really put him in a pinch. And here he comes. He is back. So I'm going to go ahead and close the room again. All right.
I was getting worried on
so
that
far.
one.
I know it's... Yeah. I was about to be nervous. Like, what do I do? Do I give him the benefit of the doubt and wait a moment because he got disconnected? Or,
in my opinion, rules are
or
rules.
do I just fire it off? Which, it's a sticky one.
We've done that before where someone didn't pick in time and it was a 7v8.
I thought for sure last night was going to be the first night. I watched the stream last night of Nightmare versus Chiefs, and I thought for sure last night was going to be the first night we saw it. As I was getting worried, I'm looking at the tanks, and I'm like, oh my god, just pick them. Just for the love of God, pick the tanks. Yep. Oh boy. All right. And right off the bat from NL, you're going to see two bat chats, an IS-7 Super Conch, an AMX-50 Bravo, two 5As. We'll see what Warrior throws up here. But, you know, I've kind of been not feeling the love from the bat chat lately. I mean, with over a 40-second reload, you got to start to contemplate whether or not that tank is still relevant or not.
Yeah, I won't even play it in pubs anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that. And, of course, the last thing they picked up was an IS-7. Over on ONUR6 side, we have a T110E4, a pair of bat chats, a pair of Super Conchs, an AMX-50 Bravo, and two 5As. Almost identical lineups, just substituting one of the IS-7s for a E4 and pulling out an extra Super Conch instead of an IS-7. And here we go. Game one. So there's also another game being played tonight, and that is in the Pro League. It is HN versus Selva. And I'm going to try to get you a score right now if I can. Oh, let's see if I can find that score for this game for those of you guys tuning in. Right now it appears, well, they've played at least 4 games. I'm sorry, they played at least 4. All right, but here we go. NL versus ONUR6, game number 1. I'm almost thinking that one of the back chats for ONUR6 should be in the Super Bush, located over at the border of E4, E5. And Let's kind of see. NL's going to take one bat chat and throw him right down that one line and kind of make a rush on it. ONUR6 is going to elect to take both bat chats and kind of get him out there to do a quick spotting run. As NL comes across, they're not crossing deep, they're crossing kind of shallow, so they have an opportunity if they get a little bit closer to spot them. Possibly get some shots in as they're going across, but Soybroka is in a good spot, and he does spot up half of ONUR6. He spots up both Super Conks, the E4 and a bat chat on his way through. I don't see any shots being exchanged back and forth, but Soybroka in return gets spotted, so they do know he's there. But you have Patanji staying in the back in that AMX-50 Bravo. Both Super Conks, the E4, the 5As all heading towards the cap circle. On the other side with NL, you have all the Super Conks. Basically, their entire team minus both bat chats are heading towards the cap area. The 50 Bravo is now spotted, and there's some shots being fired off. Fire Dragon gets hit. Stevie gets hit. Stevie lost his ammo rack. Ouch. I'm sorry, that was his engine, not his ammo rack. That hurts. And he lost his turret, so you know he's got no engine for the rest of the game. Unless he had a big repair kit and saved it. Ooh, Tank Killer losing his gun. That hurts. That hurts. Both teams kind of spread out here, and it looks like ONUR6 is going to elect to take the top side of the map and fight from the top, while NL gets a couple bodies down low towards the bottom side of the cap circle. On the other side, you have the bat chat on a reload of Soybroka, and you have nobody that cares way out over in a bush, but you still have the 50 Bravo and both bat chats still sitting over towards the spawn at the border of C2, D2, and now they're kind of spreading out. Looks like they're going to gather up and potentially think about making a push. So Soybroka has them all lit up, except for, well, he has both the AMX-50 Bravo and the bat chat lit up, which they are now unspotted. Cab Ranger just kind of hanging back. You gotta think Enraged right now is just waiting for an opportunity to strike. He's just kind of a decoy, or let me rephrase that. He's not a decoy. He is just simply a trap. He's just waiting for one of those guys to get overly aggressive and rush Soybroka from the backside, and they're both going to look to capitalize on that. I'm almost guessing that's the game plan. Following back with the action over at the cap circle, everybody's just kind of in a stalemate right now. Stevie's taking some damage. He's lost about 3/4 of his life. Both teams just popping off HE at each other at the moment. I like the position right now that Warrior's in, and I do like where Tank Killer is. He's kind of up front, although he's got to be careful. If they do decide to make a push, he would definitely be the first one that goes, but he's got enough support behind him, and they would have to crest a hill in order to get to him. So he's kind of in a pretty safe spot, I guess, for the time being. And he's also providing vision, which is hugely important. As I think it was Shrimp I just saw take a shot, or maybe it was Headbone take a shot of HE, because it does appear that both teams are firing HE at each other right off the bat. So Brock definitely moved in on the bat chats. The AMX-50 Bravo has abandoned the bat chats, fallen over towards the back side of the tracks, looking over at the tanks on the cap, and Killa takes a big hit right there for 400. So Brock is now spotted, and Dirk's making his way over there to join up possibly with Enraged Tanker. Killer takes another hit, but the Tank Killer takes a hit in return. It was a good trade on his behalf, though. However, he got in 400 damage, whilst whoever shot him, which I did not see, only got in 200, and there's another 200. And it's coming from the Super Conk of Fire Dragon, I do believe. He takes a hit. Or maybe it was Killer himself. I didn't see. Both teams just kind of riding it out right now. This is just kind of a feel-out phase, as nobody really wants to commit to something. One thing that's choice about this map is you do have to crest some hills, and that's going to put you in the open, where there's a possibility of getting shot. And another big hit into Killa. He's going to be in trouble. He needs to kind of think about getting out of there and Enraged Tanker, or I'm sorry, Nobody That Cares, just got torched heading across. And here comes Soybroka coming to join the fight. And he's in big trouble right now. He is in big trouble. Pernix the Swift and Cav Ranger take him out. Ouch. Nobody That Cares on the bottom side, taking some monster hits. I'm guessing he got hit by the E4. Combat Squirrel replaces Killa Thrilla up on the top side here of this little engagement. over towards the cap, but Tank Killer's got to be careful. And it looks like all of NL now is moving in, getting ready for a push. They're lining themselves up, getting ready, and this is where that side of the map has a little bit of an advantage. There's not as many hills to cross when you're this close, whereas ONUR6 would have to cross the hills. The HP is pretty even, however, NL is down one tank, and here come the bats and the 50 Bravo from ONUR6. They're getting ready to get disengagement. They see what's happening, and they're getting ready to act on it. That fish fan's in a great spot to put in some counter shots as NL looks to mount a push right here. Shrimp taking a big hit. He's down to about a 1.5 shot depending on what shoots him. But Tank Killer's got to be careful because he is a 1 shot. And there goes Nobody That Cares to the E4. Ouch. That puts him down 2. And here come the bat chats flying in. This is a distraction right here. They get the guns turned. They get Shrimp looking one way, Heads looking the other way. And this is just not good right now. There it is. There goes Shrimp. Goes down. Warrior's about to go down. Headroam goes down. He was a 1 shot. And there goes Warrior. That just leaves Enraged Tanker and Juicy Dirk, both of which are on a reload at the moment, with a loaded Batch Hat heading in on them. And Prenixia Swift now on a reload. Juicy is almost loaded. However, it's going to be just a little too late, and there it is. ONUR6 taking game number 1 on steps. Quick recap of that game. So actually, first of all, going over damage from ONUR6, you had Killa out there doing 2200 damage, Fire Dragon with 3600 damage, and Stevie doing 2900 damage. Followed in by Cav Ranger doing just over 2000 damage, Patangi doing just, and that Fish Fan both doing just under 2k with 1900 apiece. Then you have Combat Squirrel with 1100. Over on the side of NL, you had Tank Killer, who was in a good spot right off the bat because he was keeping everybody kind of lit up and spotted and getting in some shots as well, doing just shy of 2400 damage. Then below him you had Juicy Dirk in the AMX 50 Bravo doing 1900 damage. And you got Shrimp and Soy Braca both doing 1200 damage. And Rage with 800. And Nobody That Cares and Warrior both with 500, and then Headroam with 119. So this was a map that featured a lot of HE, a lot of feeling out right off the bat. I did like the strategy of ONUR6, just be patient, just wait for it. There's no need to go rush and do anything crazy. I think the big thing that really hurt NL there, and I think it could have went either way, it was more just the, excuse me, it was more who got antsier first, and I believe it came down to ONUR6 getting antsy. Or I'm sorry, NL getting antsy first. So good game to both teams, and I'm excited to see what adjustments both teams are going to make here for game number 2. As I flip everybody over to the other side. There we go, there's that, and alright, here we go. Fire up my timer in just a moment once I get everybody flipped. To be the room mod and to commentate and do everything all at once is kind of tough, I'm not going to lie. And just getting back to you guys on that match with NL and Selva, I'll have a score for you here in just a moment once I start this timer and hopefully get game number 2 underway with ONUR6 coming out and taking the first game 8 to 1 in tanks. Alright, timer has started. And going back to that Pro League game, it looks like Selva wins over Halfway Human, 3-1. Just a quick shout out to both of those teams for a game well played. Looks like HM maybe came out and won the first game on Airfield. And that left on your Selva taking game 2 on Airfield and sweeping both games on Himmelsdorf and Knight. Great job to both teams. All right, we are down to 150 seconds left until the clock strikes 0 and we start game 2. So this time through for NL, looks like we're going to see T110E4, pair of Bat Chats, an IS-7 Superconch, an AMX-50 Bravo, and two 5As. So one of the big adjustments they're making here, they're taking one less Superconch, and they are taking a T110E4, kind of mirror to what ONUR6 did last game. And over on the side of ONUR6, looks like they're both coming out again with a pair of Bat Chats, a pair of Superconchs, an AMX-50 Bravo, and so far a WZ 111 5A. And there is the E4 being played again. My opinion, an E4 tank is real hit or miss. It can be a lifesaver, or it can be the absolute death of you. If you miss a shot, you're waiting, 14 something seconds on a reload, and that gun's just out of the fight for far too long in some cases. With the limited mobility it has, it is very fast for a tank destroyer, but the limited mobility it has, it can be a make or break, especially in an open map. But in a good position, hitting somebody for close to 1,000 damage, there's nothing better than that. All right. The clock is about to strike 0, and we're going to get this underway. Curious to see if we're going to see the same setup, same kind of setup, or the same feeling out process out of both teams again. But with NL's lineup right here, they look to be a little bit more mobile, minus the Superconch and the T110E4. They are pretty mobile. I'm beginning to wonder if we're going to see maybe a one-line push. I'm no stranger to liking to do a one-line push, especially on this map. I mean, you have a team that's going to be crossing the J5 or 6 area all the way down to the F9. If you can catch them from behind quick enough, you can really lay a hurt on somebody before the fight really even gets going. All right, in game 2, here we go. And again, I also want to thank everybody once again for coming out tonight and watching the stream. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Be more than happy to answer anything. I know a lot of people have been asking about pricing. I keep getting a lot of messages about pricing, and best answer I can give you right now is give me about 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll try to give everybody some screenshots and updates of where we're at as far as pricing goes. However, like I said, it is going to be cash based and cash motivated, so yeah, I'll let you guys know where we're at as soon as I have a generalized idea. And for anybody out there watching, if you're interested in merchandise that you don't see on the website, don't hesitate to ask me. I do have a press. I can do it all here in my house myself. So if you ask, I can more than likely throw something together for you. All right, here we go. Game number 2. And it looks like NL is going to elect to go over the track and head down towards the general kind of meta setup on this map, concentrating mostly on the CD89 line. And over from ONUR6, Cav Ranger getting spotted right off the bat, as well as Enraged Tanker. And now also Pernix the Swift also getting spotted, but they're going to do the same thing as well, and they're going to head over towards the cap area and hopefully set up for an engagement over there. What I like about both of these teams is they're both very patient for the most part. They just let the play come to them. They're both seasoned teams. They're both experienced. They're 2 of the top teams in the game and have been for a long time. So it's always fun to watch 2 teams like this go at it. There's nothing better than seeing on a weekly basis some of the top teams in the game just duke it out each week. And that's what I really like about this league and this setup, is it allows teams like NL and ONUR6 to come out and play each other on a regular basis. And even WCL is one of the best leagues in the game, and it always will be one of the best leagues in the game when it's around. However, in this case, if you mess up and you lose one game, don't worry, you'll get to see your opponent again down the line. Killer Thriller getting spotted right off the bat. He's going to try to get himself back in that same position, but Shrimp might be in position to stop him. No, he is not. The Tank Killer on the bottom side, they kind of got Killer Thriller in a bad spot right here. Help has come from ONUR6 though, and it would force NL to come up over that hump in order to shoot him, unless they can get one of those Superconchs up, and oof, Tank Killer takes a big hit. He takes a big hit there for over 700. That fish fan also taking a hit, and it looks like Fire Dragon might have gotten hit by some HE. which to be expected out of these super conks. Are just firing HE or slinging HE at each other. Over on the other side of the map, it looks like we kind of got a stalemate between the Bat Chats again and the 50 Bravos, as both teams have elected to take 50 Bravos once again. Patangi is spotted, however, so they do know he's in the back of the map. I think right now that NL is more worried about where Cav Ranger and where Pernix might be, as same can be said for Enraged Tanker, the Juicy Dirt, and Zwybroka. Over on the other side, for the most part, all the tanks have been spotted up over near the cap. Everybody's kind of set themselves up for a long engagement, and everybody's just trying their hardest right now to trade effectively, and that's one of the big things if you're going to be an engagement on this. Don't take too much damage that you don't need to take. If the shot's not there, don't go ahead and go over the berm and just try to force one. If you don't have it, don't worry about it, just hold it out. Killer's going to rotate himself down a little bit further behind the berm. He does have to be careful, because I think right now he's the only one that can get eyes on headroom. There you go. And there's a 200 HE shot going into the turret of Shrimp. Both returning fire at the super conk, and both bounce, as he's got himself in a pretty good spot behind that rock. Patangi in the 50 Bravo has moved over to help both Bat Chats, which him and Pernix Swift are currently spotted. And the two Bat Chat and 50 Bravo of ONUR6, NL still not spotted. Zwybroka looking like he's lining up right now for Cav Ranger, and he might have shots from where he's at. If I get down here a little bit closer, he does not have shots. The fish fan took a couple of hits. Reading the chat right now. XDL saying dynamic gameplay. Yes. Yes, it is. It's to be expected. However, both of these teams are veteran teams. They know what to expect from one another. And I think this is more... This I more think is what you would expect out of two great teams. It's not committing to something that doesn't have to happen. You don't commit to something and get yourself killed. And when you can just sit there and bleed the other team out, might take a little bit of time, and then there's a big hit to Combat Squirrel. Ouch. And another big hit going into Stevie as he came up over, and Far Dragon's also taking some damage as well. NL right now has a slight HP advantage over ONUR6. However, all teams have all their guns in the game, and they're all in position, and that could change at any moment. Just under 5 minutes left, and Rage still hanging out in the back along with Juicy Dirk, and it looks like both teams are just willing to sit this time and just wait to see what the other one does over in the field. As last time through, that's kind of what made or broke the game, was what happened in the field. It allowed the Bat Chats to break off after they had killed the two Bat Chats from NL, get into the fight over here by the cap, and just work on taking tanks down one at a time. There's a 131 shot going in the Far Dragon. A lot of HE just being flung out all over the place. The Super Conk, Headroom getting himself into a great hold down spot, and there's a big hit into Nobody That Cares from the E4 of Stevie from ONUR6. Cav Ranger's got himself out in the center. He has no idea Zwybroka's in a bush. Zwybroka's being shot at, even though he was getting blind fired at after taking a couple shots into Patangi. Looks like he may have hit him once. Back over towards the cap circle. Guessing GBR Warrior. He's got himself in a great spot right now at the bottom side of the cap, just to prevent anybody from heading towards the cap circle coming up from underneath him. If he could almost get himself, I don't know, I guess he's in a good spot to protect from anybody coming down low currently. And over in the field again, Cav Ranger was just spotted. However, now it's just Pernix Swift spotted. Oh, there he is. He's spotted again. So Juicy Dirk has rotated back to the rest of the team with the same X50 Bravo. Both Bat Chats are kind of, for NL, are kind of near the fight, the main fight. And right there, it's Far Dragon's got to be careful. That fish fan's completely hidden right now behind a rock. And there's an E4 shot. Oh, no, that wasn't an E4. That was the IS-7. Just barely missed Combat Squirrel. Just under 3 minutes left to play, and it looks like we're going to have an engagement between two Batchats and the AMX-50 Bravo over on the backside. Oh, yes, we do. Let's see what happens. A lot of shots just got missed. Oh, not this time. Pernix is going to go down right here. And he does. He goes down. Cav Ranger takes a hit. They're all on reload right now, and he does not capitalize on the reload. He's just going to get himself out of there, which is smart. Just get yourself away from that. Patanji's still sitting in the back, but that puts ONUR6 in a bad spot because now they have to look to kill somebody, and Tank Killer better be careful because he could be that guy with 231 HP. Killer Thrill is still roaming on that front line with just under 2 minutes left to play. NL does have one shot tank, however ONUR6 has two guys that are fairly low in Fire Dragon and that Fish Fan. Cav Ranger still spotted, however he's elected to go for a reload. Him and Patanji look like they're going to join the rest of their teammates and possibly look to make a push. There's no real good way to do this right now with so many guys in the back. They're going to have to come far forward, and they're going to bleed a lot of HP, especially with the AMX-50 Bravo and one of the Batchats coming around the backside. Maybe even both if I get over there and look. Yeah, both Batchats coming around the backside. Cav Ranger's in big trouble right now. Patanji's kind of there to help get him out of there. However, it could be too little too late for Cav Ranger. Ooh boy. Be careful, sir. HP still fairly close, however, ONUR6 is missing a gun this time through. But Tank Killer, like I said, and Shrimp even, both are danger low. Killer taking a shot at Warrior, and he bounces. Patanji takes a big hit. They're kind of in a bad spot now. They're going to get caught in the crossfire right here as you have three autoloaders on one side. So Brock is reloading. Tank Killer goes down. That evens the game back up with 30 seconds to go. And a big hit into Killa. Oh boy. This is dangerous. Nobody that cares gets Killa Thrilla. Oh. Now desperation for ONUR6, and they take out Head home with 14 seconds, and Patanji goes down. Oh boy. Fire Dragon has to be careful. Oh, he takes a bounce, but he goes down. Wow, 1 second, and that is it. That game goes to NL. What a game. Close game, but what a game. Wow. Over on NL, you had Warrior, Sobraka, Juicy Dirk, and Tank Killer coming out and doing over 2k damage. Headroom and Shrimp both doing over 1500. Followed up with Enraged Tanker and Nobody That Cares. Over on the side of ONUR6, you had Fire Dragon coming out with over 3000 damage. That Fish Fan and Stevie both doing close to 2500 damage. Stevie doing just a touch more. You had, excuse me, then you had Killer Thriller coming out with over 1500 damage. Patanji with 798. Cav Ranger with 504. And Pernix with none. Alright, so we're going to move on. And let's see what NL is looking for a map. All right, and while we wait, going back on topic to the merchandise. Once again, like I said, I do have some of the stuff in my house. If you see something you like, if you can think of an item you like, I can always give you a price. If you don't see something, if you have some custom artwork that you would like designed, all I ask is that you must own the logo or have the proper permission to be using the logo. Speaking of which, Nightmare now has a new logo, which we will be using from here on out. The work was done by Frazzle Fallout, and I do recommend if you need somebody to do some work for you on a logo, I highly recommend Frazzle Fallout. He does great work, and he's done all three of Nightmare's logos, which I believe are all pretty badass. All right, the map pick is coming in, and they want Himmelsdorf Knight. Here we go. Himmelsdorf Knight. Himmelsdorf Blizzard. Where is it? Himmelsdorf Knight Encounter Battle. Oh, crap, I'm hitting the wrong buttons here on my phone as I am looking to get through to this. Alright. Alright. Let's go back over and see if we've come to a conclusion on spawn. So I have been watching everything else but that. Let me go back over. And no. We have not. Alright, so they have set up. So I'm going to give ONUR6 here just a moment as they're saying they are having party issues. So I'm just going to ask him real quick if he's okay. Obviously, we want everybody to be at their best. We don't want excuses or reasons why people are going to lose. So I want to give them a moment. Granted, it could just crash again in 10 seconds and they could have the same kind of crapshoot that they just had. And I totally understand, as somebody who does some calling for Nightmare, that when a party crashes, it is absolutely a no-go in calling, and it just turns into craziness. At the same time, I'm going to see if I can get somebody else in here to help me do some commentating. I can't type and talk at the same time for some reason, so I'm just going to write out this message. Alright. Okay, starting the timer, and here we go. Timer is started, and we are ready to go. So Himmelsdorf Night appears to be a very popular map right now, and it's one of those maps where there's really no place to go. Everybody knows that you pretty much got to fight for the hill. That's the most important thing, so it's just really a lot of enclosed packed action, which is exciting. So far nobody has taken me up on my request for comment, but that is okay. We will just keep this going, and right now the series is even 1-1. Both teams taking a game on ONUR6's map choice, which was Steps. All right, so while we wait, so Dingy, what did you think of the first two games that we've had played so far?
Looks like it was just a patience game. Each team was looked like they were just waiting for the other one to make the first mistake and then capitalize on it.
Indeed, and that's kind of how I take on the first game, or on the both games. I'm sorry, both games were kind of the same, and it comes down when you play a great team like NL or ONUR6, both are great teams. But when you play another great team, it's all about who can capitalize on whose mistakes and who makes the bigger mistake. On a map like Steps, especially from the north spawn, if you're not careful coming over one of those hills, that is the difference between getting there with all 8 tanks or getting there with 7. Because coming over the top of the hill, if you are not careful, you can absolutely get ruined. All
I
right, so
do
it looks
like.
like both teams are ready. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I do like how they used the mediums a little bit more with the 50B on the second match than they did the first one. The first one felt like they were just kind of out of the game the
Yeah,
whole time till the very end.
and there again, it's all in who gets more aggressive the fastest. It can sometimes be life or death, as you saw in that particular case right there. Both teams that did the attacking lost, and they were both happened to be from the south spawn. So here we go. Game number 3 being played on Himmelsdorf Night Encounter. Over on the side of NL, they are coming out with a T110E4, a Batchat 25T, a pair of IS-7s, a T57 Heavy, an AMX 50 Bravo, and two 5As. And Dingy, do you want to do on your 6?
Sure, Far Dragon and an E4, the Fish Fan in a 57 along with Stevie, Pernix in a Super Conch with Cav Ranger, Patangi in a 50B, and then two 5As with Killa and Combat Squirrel.
All right, and here we go. Game 3 starting now. All right. So with that 50 Bravo, I'm thinking you're going to see what has now become, has been seen so many times now on stream, is that 50 Bravo screaming down the 1-2 line, trying to get shots in the rear as tanks go from A2 to B0. So we've had a debate about this in Nightmare about the easiest way to avoid that, and I would say it is not going through the A0 line. We talked about it. Even though you go A0, you avoid getting spotted, you still have to cross through the open. You still have to cross through the open on the B0 line. And you still run the risk of getting shot in the side. So I think the best thing to do is just turn your turrets, look for it, and just be prepared that somebody may be coming behind you very quickly. Over on the side of NL, I'm curious to see if Swipe Rocket goes out, does a quick spotting run, and tries to get himself in behind. Looks like he's going to delay this. He's just going to slowly work his way over there. He's not being overly careless, should we say. He's being very cautious. He does spot a couple of guys, knowing they are going up the hill. Going to rush out in the middle and try just to verify that there may be no lingerers coming after him, that they're not setting up on him. He does spot the T57 Heavy. He is still reloading, however, so he's not going to have a shot yet. Does get the WZ 111-5A spotted. Juicy Dirk's going to join him as they cut through the center of the field, if you want to call it that, or courtyard, if you will. ONUR6 is going to safely make it to the hill and get themselves up on the hill. And in my opinion, this plays into a big advantage. If you're not going to capitalize down low, you either got to back yourself up towards the train tracks, trying to get shots and hope that they come down on the bottom side of that castle, because if they don't cross the bottom side of the castle, you're pretty much out of the fight. So let's see if NL takes the 50 Bravo and tries to come up in behind, excuse me, come up in behind them, or if they turn around and head back. Like there's the Batchat, like I was saying, he's putting himself on the one line. He is going to look to get shots up on the hill. However, the wildly inaccurate Batchat gun, well, we'll see what Soy Brocker can do with it here. He's a great player, so if anybody can do it, it's going to be him. All right, Combat Squirrel is going to reach up to the top of that hill and get there quickly, while the rest of ONUR6 catches up. Not quite to the crest of the hill yet, which could be trouble. Tank Killer getting himself into position, and it looks like Combat Squirrel is going to take a hit right off the bat. The rest of ONUR6 coming up to join Combat Squirrel. Now, nobody that cares knows that he's got a little bit of an advantage with both guys on the bottom. However, ONUR6 seems to have forgotten that Juicy Dirk and Soy Braca are nowhere to be seen. They knew their spot on the bottom, and now they must know they're coming for them from behind. Let's see if they decide just to make a push for it right here and play into it. They are very staggered up right now. And here comes Juicy Dirk and Soy Braca coming from behind, and they're going to make the push. Here it is. This is the play to make right here. And good focus on Tank Killer right off the bat, and the 57 Heavy both getting focused hard. There goes Tank Killer down. There goes Enraged Tanker down. Head roam taking shots now. She's going to be the next victim, it looks like. Oh, but that fish fan's going to go down to the autoloaders in the back. But there goes Head roam. He is down. Now they're going to work on Shrimp over on the 5A. Stevie's about reloaded, and he's going to put our herd on Shrimp right here. Cav Ranger's low. E4 is going to have to get himself in the fight, almost reloaded, and he's going to put a big one into their E4 right there. Oh, for 702. Ouch. And there goes Warrior going down. Nobody that cares. Caught out on his own, and he's going to take a beating right here. Oosh. And there goes Nobody That Cares going down. Here comes Juicy Turk and Zoe Brocker. They're going to work on this 57 to Stevie, who is almost reloaded the second time. Will he get loaded and get shot off? He does get a shot off, however. Oh, and he does kill him. Oh no, and Shrimp misses. Oh, and he's going to get some help from Pernex. Not in enough time, however. Juicy Dirk appears to have... No, Juicy Dirk is still up there on the hill. I did think he ran away for a moment, but he is still up there. Shrimp goes down. Juicy Dirk taking a big hit, and this one looks like it's going to go to ONUR6, but not so fast. There are 3 tanks left against an autoloader. Oh, that'll pretty much do it. Juicy Dirk takes a hit, and there it is. ONUR6 taking it down 8-5 in Game 3. That puts them up 2-1 in the series. Definitely a good fight from both teams. That's exactly what I wanted to see from ONUR6 right there, though, was. That was, like I was saying, that's exactly what you wanted to see from ONUR6 was knowing they have 2 guys on the bottom side that were looking to spot, 2 guys on the bottom side that were looking to shoot up at the cap. They made the right choice in going over the top of the cap, knowing they got a 2-tank advantage. They didn't hesitate. They all went across, focused fire well, and just made it happen. Really quick, just rolling down the damage on the side of ONUR6. You had Far Dragon coming out and doing 3,300 damage, followed by Stevie doing 3,100 damage. Combat Squirrel and Patangi both doing, well, Combat Squirrel almost doing 3,000, Patangi doing just shy of 2,500 damage, and Pernix Swift coming out and doing 1,800. Over on the side of NL, you had Shrimp coming out and doing over 4k damage, and Juicy Dirk dealing out 2,500 damage. And Rage, Nobody That Cares, and Head Roam all doing right around 1,500, and Nobody That Cares doing just under 2k damage. So here we go, moving on to game number 4, getting these guys all set up. That was a great game, and that right there comes down to experience from ONUR6. They understood the situation that NL had 2 tanks that were kind of out of the fight for too long. Not a bad play by them to send 2 tanks down there low. However, I kind of want to see if you're going to use that strategy. Like I was saying pre-game, you really want to make sure you're getting those shots in, because if you don't, then you could potentially pay for it, and that's how you pay for it. So good job to ONUR6. Like I said, that puts them up 2-1. And really, that's kind of an equalizer, because NL had taken a game from them on their map. So for them to come back and take one from NL on Himmelsdorf evens it back out, in my opinion.
I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, but do you think that if the bat and the 50B got there maybe 10 seconds earlier, would have made a difference?
Potentially. Oh yeah, potentially could have made a difference. I think if they had made it there possibly 30 seconds earlier when they were going up the hill would have made a really big difference.
Oh, yeah.
At that time, nobody from ONUR6 had their guns turned around looking the other way. They did have one tank that did go down the A line over to the B0 area and crossed to there. They could have picked on him a little bit. However, if they had gotten over there just a touch quicker, they could have definitely started putting shots off into the rear of ONUR6 as they were crossing up. And right there, when you bleed a tank that bad right off the bat, it kind of equalizes the not having 2 tanks on top of the hill. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but it makes them think real hard about continuing the push.
Yeah, I was watching the
especially if you have the
kills,
opportunity.
and they were back and forth for the first 3 in each team, and then after that, it domino affected.
Yes, it did.
Oh, dang, they're ready.
All right, they are ready. They are ready to go. I didn't have to start a timer. These guys are on it, and I do appreciate that. I really do. Trust me. So, all right, over on the side of ONUR6, you have Far Dragon coming out in a T110E4, that Fish Fan and Stevie both coming out in T57 Heavies, Prinix the Swift and Cav Ranger in Super Conks, Batanji in an AMX-50 Bravo, Killa and Combat Squirrel both coming out in WZ-111 5As. If you want to go down NL Dinghy.
Yup. We got Warrior in an E4, Nobody and Heterone in IS-7s, pair of 57s with Enraged Tinker, and Soy, is that Boricua? I'm probably butchering
I call him
that.
Boruka, but I am too. I'm gonna bet I am.
And then Juicy Dirk in a 50B and a pair of 5As with Tank Killer and Shrimp.
All right, and here we go. Game 4 underway right now. Game 4, and I think we're going to see some adjustments here where teams decide that it may not be worth going up the hill, or I don't know if it's that teams may be deciding now that it's not worth trying to fight the one line anymore, that maybe it's just best to get to the top of that hill and fight. But I guess we'll see right here what each other has in store. On the side of ONUR6, I'm going back over here to look. I do not believe they came out with any 50 Bravos. Oh, they did. They came out with the Tangent 50 Bravo. So again, if you're going to use that 50 Bravo, you need to try to get him over to that track, or over to right where the T57 is, like right now, as fast as possible. You need to be able to get shots into those guys going up the hill. And he's not. He's going to kind of do a fake, and he's going to head back with the rest of his team, which is not a bad play either, as the 50B is very versatile, very quick for a heavy. No, he is going to make the push for it. Here he goes. He might be just a touch too late, though. We're going to see. It's going to be close. He might catch this 57 of Soy in the back, who's still climbing. Chances are he is going to catch him. It's going to be close. He is not going to catch him.
Oh, just as he makes the turn. Puts one
he
into him.
does.
Look at that.
Just one. Just one.
I don't think he was fully.
And he's going to actually pull his reload now, which is absolutely smart, is to pull the reload now. Great heads up thinking. Why carry around 3 shells when you know they're out of sight, out of mind? But now he's got to get himself into position to support the rest of his team. Looks like he's going to fall back and try to use the track and shoot him from the track. So this is where, if you are NL, you remember what just happened last game and try to use that to your advantage. They do have a tank out of the fight right now, so you are a gun up. You do have the advantage. Warrior taking a hit in his E4. And all of ONUR6 is still full health. So they're doing this smart too. They got their 257s over towards the cap using the bottom side. Batanji's still on the bottom side, and he's going to be looking right now, and NL is going to be in an absolutely bad spot right here in a moment. Yep, there it is. Now they're getting shot from the bottom side and the top side. That's the danger of trying to take the bottom side when you have an autoloader on the bottom over by those train tracks. Like I was saying earlier, I think if NL had got their tanks over there, instead of coming up behind, they could have possibly done the same thing. However, on your 6 in that first game was smart, and here comes the push from NL. They're going to make the push, and there goes Far Dragon. Far Dragon is down. The Fish Fan and Stevie both low. The Fish Fan goes down right there, and they're looking for Stevie right now in the other 57. Is Juicy Dirk taking a couple of big hits in his 50 Bravo. Soy Braca goes down. And it looks like Patangi on the backside is shooting off some more rounds right now as he is fully loaded. Probably looking for Enraged or Headroam. Ooh. Lucky bounce there from Headroam on the backside of his IS-7. And there goes another tank down. There goes GBR Warrior going down. Akila's down to 691. He gets double tapped. He is done. Stevie down to 182. Somehow he survived that engagement. Wow. Hit points are relatively close still. 33% for NL and 47 for ONUR6, so it's definitely not over yet. Definitely not over. However, oh, a couple of big hits to NL right there. ONUR6 is ahead right now, but they do have a one-shot on the board, as well as does NL. Both teams have a one-shot on the board, possibly, depending on which tank hits. Could have more, but Patangi's going to make his way up the front side now, and Rage Tanker takes a hit. Oh, and Rage takes another big hit. He's in trouble. ONUR6 starting to smell the blood. They're going to make a push for it. They got Soy Brock into the fight, or Patangi, I'm sorry, into the fight now, and he is full health, so he's making his way up for these guys. Tracking shot on Juicy Dirk doesn't do the trick. Come the two full health tanks. Oh. This game still is not over. Oh, and Rage Taker goes down. He was about loaded. Shrimp, nobody that cares. Only a few tanks left, and this looks like it is going to be ONUR6. Wow. What a game. What a game. Some back and forth action. Both teams did a standout job. Or let me rephrase that, a stand-up job. And I want to say thank you to both teams for coming out tonight and playing. Great game. However, ONUR6 is going to take this 3-1 in week 1 of GTL. Great game. And I'd have to say, through all these games, looking back at it, you could nominate a couple of people for MVP. However, I would say Patangi was going to be the player of the night, especially in that last game. He sealed the deal with that AMX 50 Bravo. He did the right thing, falling back towards the track, and he got some crucial shots in right off the bat against, I believe it was either Shriv or Soy Borka, one or the other. However, once again, I want to say thank you to both teams again for coming out playing tonight. ONUR6 is your winner, 3-1. So I'm going to get Patangi in here, and we're going to ask him a couple of questions. Oh, let's see. All right, while we're waiting for him.
Hello?
All right, and he is here. How are you tonight, sir? Well, number one, we want to say thank you guys for coming out and playing tonight. You guys are great. You guys did a great job, especially that last match. We were just talking about what happened in the first one and again in the second one, but we want to ask you tonight, as we kind of picked you to be the MVP of the night. So just take us through game one. The game you guys won. What was the difference in that game for you guys?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm extremely tired. So I was kind of just in autopilot driving around. And it just happened that, the dude just came around the corner. The bat chat just decided to push. I think he thought Pernix was alone. So that was it.
Okay.
He got killed pretty fast, and then out of nowhere, all of a sudden we saw we had a huge overmatch because we just kept whittling them down with HE, and we just pushed them. That was it.
And that was, like we said on stream earlier tonight, that was that was kind of both teams feeling each other out.
Hmm.
Both two veteran teams not wanting to make a mistake and trying to capitalize on the other team's shortcomings, the other team's mistakes, and both teams on your six NL, two great teams, two of the best in the game, and it was a good show. So going back to what we were talking about with on Himmelsdorf, when NL had a bat chat and a 50 Bravo, they elected to wait and not push the two tanks to the backside of the little
Hmm.
castle and shoot tanks as they were going up the hill. They elected to hold off and wait and then try to come up behind afterwards and not try for side shots. So that game, I had said earlier that if they leave tanks down there, you're up two tanks. Because two
Yeah.
tanks down there, they don't have any vision on the top side of the castle either. They can't shoot the top side of the castle. So the smart thing in this situation to do is to push the top side of the castle. So take us through what
Hmm.
happened there in that first Himmelsdorf game, or what was the thought?
Well, firstly, we've been playing against or we've been scrimming against Rated M a lot, his team. So, and they've been doing a lot of like Himmelsdorf strats, a lot of really annoying Himmelsdorf strats that we've learned off of. And we pretty much just we kind of were questioning if they were going to push them or if they were going to do that exact strat, which they didn't, which we were happy about. But we saw that they still had a bat chat and a 50B. So we were trying to figure out what they were trying to do. And when we didn't spot them up on the hill and we didn't spot them behind us, we just all pushed because we were all up there and we knew we had an 8-6 overmatch. So
8-6 overmatch, absolutely. And that was definitely the right play to make, as I had said all along. Anytime somebody's going to keep tanks on the bottom, best thing to do is push the top side of the castle because you're going to have an overmatch somewhere.
hmm yeah, that's
Uh,
also why
and
we
then
didn't go around the right side of the castle, just in case they were set up for side shots.
and that was going to lead me into my next point. So you were able to. We were saying that you were cutting it very close as to whether or not you were going to spot the 57 on its way up the hill. You did manage to get a shot off into him,
I
and
did.
then you did the smart thing, reloaded and worked your way back over to the train tracks and prayed to God that they did decide to use the bottom side, and they did.
Yeah, I was really afraid that there was like a unlit didn't they have an E4? I was just really afraid that there was like
They
an
did.
unlit E4 just sitting there waiting for me.
He was lit. He was lit up on the top side, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah, I wasn't paying attention that much.
And they had the right idea. NL did have the right idea. And the minute that they knew you were on reload, that some of their other autoloaders were on reload, they made a push. However, the fatal mistake was they left Stevie with like 31 or something like
Yeah.
that HP, and
Yeah, I don't know
they
what's
they
going
didn't
on with
get him out
Stevie,
of the
but
game.
somehow Stevie's just been like turned into a phenomenal player overnight. I don't know what happened.
Well, you can't ask for a
Actually,
better time than
not that he
now for
wasn't
something like
not
that
that he
to
wasn't
happen.
a phenomenal player before, but I'm just saying, definitely noticing a difference.
Well, and you know what? That's what it's all about. Is over time, the more you work with people, the more you play together with people, and of course, you guys have been together for a long time now. You guys have all been around for a while. You know the drill. You know the deal. So it was a
Yeah,
job well done tonight. And
yeah. Our
again,
biggest problem
myself
is
and
just
Danny want
like,
to thank you guys for. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, thank you for having us though. But our biggest problem is just like Cutter, obviously WNF Beast is our like main caller,
Yep.
and he keeps scheduling all these games and all these practices and all this stuff, but he works really weird hours. So right now he's like on call. So
Yeah, that
he's like,
hurts.
yeah, I'm gonna schedule this, but I can't call. But we had him call like last week, and you could definitely notice he had needed like some practice. So we've been having Fish take over that role, which has been really nice because I don't have to do it, and I'm happy about that.
Was Fish fan calling tonight?
Yes, well, Fish, Killa, and me, kind of.
Okay.
It's really hectic, but it works until the party
Dingy, do you
lights
have
out.
any questions?
No, I'm actually a little tired myself today, so slightly
No,
brain
I
dead.
get that. For those that know me, know I work a lot of hours, especially in the winter time. Hunting season's here.
Oh, I'm
It's
excited
cold
for
up in
that.
New England. Got some snowfall, so I've been working some crazy hours. But again, we want to thank you guys for coming out and playing tonight. You guys are great. You guys did a good job. And once again, on your 6-3 NL1, so on your six taking their first week of GTL over NL. And I think one thing that's important to keep in mind and to remember is it is also points based on top of wins. So, for instance, in this case, there was one game. I don't remember which team won the game. I believe it was NL. I could be wrong. but they did not get the extra point for eliminating all of the tanks. That is a kicker. So you get, you get 3 points for a series win, 1 point for a match win, and an extra point per match that you kill all the enemy tanks. Which I believe that left you guys with 9. I want to say it left you guys with 9 points, which is the most you can possibly get.
Okay. All right, now at least I understand the scoring a little better.
There
Don't
you
have
go.
to ask a million questions.
There you go. Yes, sir. But again, we want to thank you guys for coming out tonight and playing. You guys were great. And from everybody in GTL, we want to thank all of our viewers tonight for coming out and watching. And we hope you guys tune in next time for the next stream match, which we'll announce as soon as I go back and look and see what the next one is. And thank you so much, everybody. Any final words, Dingy?
I need to sleep.
You and me both.
Once again, everybody, have a good night. Patanji, thank you so much for coming out and doing a post-game interview with us, and good job tonight again to ONUR6, and also good job as well to NL. You guys are great as well. Don't sell them short.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to y'all later.
See you. Are we doing the NL interview?
No, sir. We're going to leave it at that.
Oh, that's different. Alrighty.
Yeah, I thought about having ONUR6 come out, or NL come out. However, we're going to cut it at that. We'll stick to one interview for the night. I do want to thank everybody for coming out, and I promise I will get somebody in from NL to commentate on the next game, like Enraged Tanker, Tank Killer, somebody. And we will give them a post-game interview at some point.
Alrighty. I just want to thank everyone for the follows, and who was it that gave me that sub? Let me go back. Decisive Power. Thanks for the sub with Twitch Prime. Much appreciated. And on that, we'll go ahead and end the stream. So thanks again, guys, for coming out, and we'll see you on the next one.